My name is Harper. I never thought I would stumble upon a secret so dark, so twisted, that it would make me question everything I believed about my neighborhood, my friends, even my own family. For years, I had walked past the old Whitmore estate at the edge of town, a crumbling mansion no one dared enter, surrounded by rusted gates and tangled ivy. Children had whispered rumors about it, about strange noises, shadows in the windows, and a woman who sometimes appeared on the balcony, staring silently at the street below. It started with a note. A small, torn piece of paper slipped under my apartment door late one night, scrawled in hurried, uneven handwriting. They are trapped. You have to find them before it's too late. I thought it was a prank. I really did. But the next day, I saw a boy staring at me from the edge of the alley behind my building. His clothes were torn, his eyes wide with fear. He didn't speak, only pointed toward the Whitmore estate before disappearing around the corner. Curiosity, fear, and a strange sense of responsibility pushed me forward. I began researching the mansion, the family who had owned it, and the disappearances that had been quietly swept under the rug for decades. Every record I found hinted at a hidden world, one that existed parallel to the life the town proudly displayed. Children had vanished, too many for coincidence, too many for authorities to ignore. But each disappearance had a trail that went cold the moment someone got too close. One evening, armed with nothing but a flashlight and a backpack filled with essentials, I approached the mansion. The gates creaked as I pushed them open, and the air seemed to thicken, heavy with dust and decay. Inside, the grand hall was frozen in time-broken chandeliers, shattered furniture, and walls lined with portraits of stern-looking ancestors who seemed to watch my every move. I followed a narrow staircase down into a cellar, where the air turned damp and suffocating. That's when I heard them. Whispers, faint but unmistakable, echoing from a hidden doorway beneath a trapdoor. My pulse raced. I lifted the heavy wooden panel and descended into darkness. The cellar was a maze of corridors, each lined with small rooms. And inside those rooms were children, dozens of them, some huddled in corners, others asleep on thin, tattered mattresses. Their eyes reflected terror, mistrust, and relief the moment they saw me. I froze. How could this have happened in a town that prided itself on safety? How could these children have been hidden, forgotten, or worse, deliberately kept away from the world? A girl, no older than 8, reached out to me. Her voice trembled. "Please, you have to help us. They come at night." The next hours were a blur. I discovered that the mansion was owned not by a family, but by a secretive organization, an underground network exploiting the children for reasons I couldn't yet comprehend. Some were forced to perform. Some were used to deliver messages. Others simply vanished entirely. Every hidden room held a story of fear and resilience, and every child carried the weight of horrors no child should ever witness. I knew I couldn't do this alone. I started gathering evidence, photographs, notes, recordings of the children's testimonies. Each piece I collected made the danger more real. I began noticing cameras in hidden corners, listening devices that followed my every move. Someone was watching, always watching, and I had to move carefully if I wanted to survive. One night, I found a passage that led to the heart of the operation, a library turned control room, with monitors displaying rooms filled with children I hadn't yet seen. The walls were lined with files, each detailing a child's history, habits, and family background. This was bigger than anything I had imagined. Bigger, darker, and more dangerous. I planned their escape meticulously. Every child had a role, a path, a hiding spot for when the operation discovered our movement. Weeks passed, each day filled with fear, hope, and the quiet terror of being caught. And then, finally, the night came. We moved silently through the mansion, unlocking doors, guiding children through secret passages I had discovered during my reconnaissance. The air was thick with tension, every creak threatening to expose us. By the time we reached the outer gates, the first light of dawn was breaking. I led them into the forest that bordered the estate, a sanctuary where we could finally breathe, even for a moment. I called authorities anonymously, leaving clues that would allow them to intervene without tracing back to me. But the relief was fleeting. As I watched the children scatter into safe zones, I realized the organization had anticipated this. A single figure emerged from the shadows, blocking the path. He was tall, composed, and terrifyingly calm. "You shouldn't have come here," he said, his voice cutting through the morning air like a blade. Fear rooted me to the spot, but I remembered the children, their eyes filled with hope and trust, and I refused to let him stop me. A struggle ensued, one I barely survived. When it was over, I was bruised, bleeding, and shaken to my core. But the children were free, at least for now. And that was what mattered. In the following weeks, news of missing children in nearby towns resurfaced. Investigations reopened, and the mansion became a target for authorities. I stayed in the shadows, documenting every revelation, every escape, and every secret I uncovered. The network was vast, its reach terrifying, but the children's courage and my determination was stronger. I know the danger isn't over. I know the organization will strike back. And I know that some of the children's stories will never fully be told. But I also know this: some secrets, no matter how deeply buried, are meant to be revealed. And some children, no matter how hidden, are meant to be saved. Every night, I return to the forest, to the hidden places, to the children who still need me. And every night, I whisper to the darkness, "You cannot control them. You cannot hide the truth, and you will never win, because in a world where shadows and lies thrive, courage and love can still carve a path toward the light." And I will not stop until every hidden child sees that light. Thank you for listening to my story. If it captivated you, please subscribe, like, and share this video. I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments. Your support means the world.